Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. Before I start, I want to say if you guys hear some loud noise in the background, that is the Air Force, not the Air Force, the Blue Angels, I believe, practicing for the holiday. So yeah, they're practicing. So if you hear that loud noise, that's what they're getting it practice on. Okay. Yeah, but what I want to talk about in this video is something interesting. There was an article in reference to this actor who claims himself to be what he calls a KAMALA man. Now, I think some of you have heard that term before. He's some actor. I've never heard of this actor. I really don't care about all these actors, but I want to bring out something here that I think is very important. Now, in this article that I'm about to read to you guys, he's referred to as a beta male. And I know you guys have heard that term used before. I think Jesse Peterson, he uses that term before. Beta, he uses that term before. But what I want to do, I'm going to read a little bit of this article. And I'm going to get into what, in my opinion, what exactly is a beta male? What is an alpha male? What is an omega male? What does all this stuff really mean? And are these people, is being a beta male a bad thing or a good thing? What does this really mean? Because it seems to be associated with something bad. But is that totally accurate? So that's what I want to talk about in this particular video. And then I'm going to go into the details of that. So let's get right into this because, and this in no way supports these men that claim to be, KAMALA men and all this kind of nonsense. But anyway, I'm going to get into the details of that. Beta males for KAMALA has a new member, Civil War and NBC's Parks and Recreation actor Nick Offerman. So some of you may have heard of him. I've never heard of him. I've never seen the movie Civil War. I don't know anything about NBC's Parks and Recreation. I have no clue, okay? He has declared that he is, quote, quote, proud to be a KAMALA man, okay? And it says in a new YouTube video, Nick Offerman gushes over Kamala Harris in a parody song of Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA, which is sung from the point of view of a theoretical Republican who has decided to embrace so-called decency and vote for Kamala. How is that considered to be decent? I have no clue. Oh my God, I'm so sick of these people. Ugh. At one point, Offerman claims Kamala Harris will, quote, stand up for democracy, end quote, without mentioning that she made a mockery of the democratic process by skipping her party's primary elections on her road to her coronation last week at the DNC. And that's true. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is a fact. They're constantly talking about democracy, 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 but they're acting the opposite of democracy, of what democracy is all about. Democracy has to do with the voting of the people. It has to do with the people making a decision. It has to do with the people. The people vote these individuals in office. But this is not what has happened with Kamala Harris, okay? There's no democracy there, but they're the same ones that scream and holler about democracy. Anyway, the parody song doesn't list any of Kamala Harris's policies or accomplishments, and they're not going to, okay? Perhaps because she has none, okay? And it goes on to say, most of the song is devoted to bashing former President Donald Trump, whom he calls, quote, a F&D with hoary and disproven accusations, including the hoax that Trump insults members of the military. And that's all I'm going to read right there. That's pretty straightforward. I get it. I get the gist of that. Yeah, okay, right. Whatever, Mr. Offerman, Ornament, whatever, look, it's your choice. It's your decision. If you consider yourself a KAMALA man, you proud to be a KAMALA man, fine. I mean, the phrase KAMALA man, it sounds a little catchy, catchphrases. That type of stuff works with a lot of people. It don't work for me, man. So we're not going to even go there, all right? But what is this thing about the beta males, Beta, I'm borrowing that off of Jesse Peterson, so it's not copyrighted. But what is the thing about this beta male thing, What exactly is that? What exactly is a beta male? So I looked that up. And because I wanted to be sure, it says a beta male is a man tending to assume a passive or subservient role in social or professional situations. There's nothing macho about him. He's a total beta male. And then it talks about, there's one part that talks about what is a beta male personality. It says beta male is described as non-confrontational, kind, loyal, and comfortable with emotional intimacy. And that part there, where it talks about a beta male is kind and loyal and comfortable with emotional intimacy, sounds like something added to it. It doesn't sound right, because I remember reading the whole concept of a beta male some months ago, and the definition, from what I can remember, was not the definition that I'm reading here. It's almost like they're trying to make so-called beta males into these positive men. Beta males are loyal and they're comfortable and they're kind. And if you're anything other than a beta male, then you need to be shunned from society. That's what this definition tends to come out to as in terms of how I see it. It's almost as if they're saying that, look, if you are anything other than a beta male, you're not kind, you're not loyal, and you're not comfortable with the emotional intimacy. It sounds saccharine. Emotional intimacy. And I know that, if a man, is with a woman, he needs to learn how to be intimate. I get all of that, and that's what he's supposed to do. That's not being non-male or whatever. A man's supposed to be intimate with his woman, and he's comfortable with that. He's comfortable with emotional intimacy. But that doesn't have to be a beta male, okay? That can be any kind of male. All right, so this whole idea of beta male as being kind and loyal and comfortable with emotional intimacy, to me, seems to be something added onto that by the algorithms, which were probably created by woke individuals on Google who wanted to make beta males look positive. That's just my opinion, okay? It sounds kind of funky here, okay? But then it talks about the alpha male. What is an alpha male? The most dominant, powerful, or assertive man in a particular group. He thinks he's the alpha male of investment bankers, or this slang, sometimes disparaging. A man who is perceived to be assertive, successful, and sexually dominant. That kind of sounds accurate, It says, what's the difference between alpha and beta males? Here, alpha males are fearless trailblazers. Now, I like this definition. Alpha males are fearless trailblazers who love to be in control, while beta males are kind, gentle souls who prioritize personal connections. Sigma males are rebellious leaders with lots of life experience, while delta males are responsible companions who you want by your side. And then it talks about the omega male. Okay, it talks about the omega male. What is an omega male? Says the ultimate loner or outsider. He's the guy who goes his own way and doesn't care about what other people think. He's authentic, impulsive, non-judgmental, and welcoming. The omega is the polar opposite of an alpha. That kind of sounds like me. I'm not a beta male because even though I'm non-confrontational, I don't like confronting people and stuff like that. It isn't because I'm fearful or lack leadership abilities and leadership skills, because I'm an associate pastor in my church. That's a leadership position. Okay, and I wasn't placed there because my pastor and didn't have anybody else. He said, well, I ain't got nobody else. Might as well go and place him. And no, I had leadership abilities and still have them. But I don't like confrontation because I hate dealing with people's rebellious attitudes. No matter how nice I try to talk to them, they still got an attitude. And what that does with me, it gets me angry and upset. And I start raising my voice. That's why I don't like that's why I'm non-confrontational. I hate big confrontations, okay? Because people get attitudes when I come to them and try to address certain issues in the kindest way I possibly can. Now I'm getting upset and frustrated and mad at them, and I hate that. So that's why I'm non-confrontational. I'm non-confrontational not because I'm a beta male. Beta? No, I'm not no passive, weak guy like this other guy is, or these so-called KAMALA men are. I just don't like it based on what I just said. I don't like to have to deal with arguing with people. So I don't confront them. I tend to be like, okay, you keep on getting on my nerves, and God is helping me with that, but you keep on getting on my nerves, I'm going to blow up. You need to come right. Get it together. But I'm more or less fall into the role of an alpha male. Okay, I'm more or less fall into the category of not an alpha male, the category of a so-called omega male. That's the kind of category I fall into. A guy who's his own and doesn't care what other people think. He's authentic, impulsive. I consider myself that. And that may sound like I'm bragging and boasting, but no. But what's my point in just saying all this type of stuff? Omega males, delta males, alpha males, beta males. Because these titles that are given to a lot of these men, I can't help but wonder, do people really know what all this stuff really means? And what I've come to find out, at one particular study stated that, and I'm just quoting to you what this study stated, that liberal men, especially the far left liberals, tend to have a beta attitude. They tend to be less aggressive. They tend to not be, they're more passive. They tend to be more followers and not leaders, in the sense that they take initiative to do certain things. They tend to be that way. And it's a saccharine, icky kind of persona that these men have. And this is what this study states about liberal men, particularly those on the far left. And from my observations, my personal observations, okay, that's what I have observed, okay? They tend to be, they get in their handshake. When they shake your hand, it's all soft and, I can't stand that. I cannot stand a man who shakes my hand real soft. You got them sweaty palms and they shake it. Man, shake my hand like a man. Because when a man shakes my hand like that, I'm going to interpret you as a beta. I'm going to interpret that guy as a beta male. Shake my hand like, I may be an omega man, okay, if you want to call me that or whatever. But I'm going to shake your hand, bro. Shake my hand. You ain't got to break my bones, and I'm not going to try to break your bones, but shake my hand like a man. They tend to have that kind of attitude about themselves. So this guy here, Offerman, whatever, the writer of the article calls him a beta male, okay? I would tend to agree with that. In my opinion, he is a beta male, okay? And beta males are these individuals that tend to be real passive. They're not assertive. And, well, I'm a KAMALA man. You know, I just want to support Kamala and all of this kind of stuff. Well, whatever, man. That's your choice. That's your choice. But that is a bad image to portray for strong men. The America that we live in right now is a sad, sad America. The state of men in our country is horrible. It's horrible. Where are the strong leaders? See, you can be a so-called alpha male or omega male or delta male or whatever and still be compassionate and still have emotional control and be able to be intimate with your mate, your woman, okay? All of those things that are considered to be soft, you can still be that, whether you are an omega male or a delta male or an alpha male. You can still be that kind of person. I know my pastor, he's what I consider an alpha male. He's always been, since I've known him at the age of 16, he's always been an aggressive person in terms of things that he wants. He's always been a natural leader. I was not a natural leader. I was a natural and am a natural teacher, okay? And I've never been very competitive. It doesn't matter to me whether or not this person, beats me in this or beats me in that. It doesn't really fully matter because I'm not interested in that anyway. The things that I am interested in personally that have a competitive nature to it, then I'm going to put forth 150% effort to be the best that I can be and hopefully beat the other person out, because that's the only way the publisher is going to want my work. What am I talking about? I'm talking about writing. I'm a fiction writer, and writing fiction and trying to get your work published is extremely competitive. If anyone's ever been a fiction writer, you know how competitive it is. So that means you're competing with other writers, thousands of other writers for this publisher. Wherever you're trying to get your work published is extremely competitive. So in that sense, I'm very competitive, but I have to be competitive. Okay. But my nature is not a competitive nature. It never was, but I'm not a beta male. I'm not, well, I'm passive. I don't care. I'd rather be a follower than a leader. No, 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 no. By nature, and by design, by God's design, I believe all men are leaders in some sense of the word, because God designed us to be so. Men are leaders because they're natural teachers. Men are leaders because they're natural protectors. Men are leaders because they're natural providers. When a man goes against those core natural elements that's inbred in him and put in him by God's design, there's going to be chaos. When you have these beta males that are passive and don't want to take no leadership roles and don't want to talk about, they're always, okay, whatever. When you have those kind of males that are dominant in society or dominant in the homes or dominant on your jobs, eventually you're going to have problems. And unfortunately, you're going to have women having to step up and do the leadership roles because these beta males don't want to do anything. And for this man to say, I'm a KAMALA man, whatever, man, whatever. That's what you feel. That makes you feel good. Whatever, But I wanted to bring that. I wanted to talk a little bit about all this so-called beta male and the difference between the beta males, the alpha males, and the omega males, and the delta males, and all of these type of things. Whichever category you fall into, please don't fall into the category of a beta male. As I said earlier, being kind and emotionally, having emotional intimacy and all that, that's not a bad thing. Being non-confrontational is not a bad thing. That doesn't mean you're not a man. Okay. I've explained to you guys why I'm not non-confrontational. I'm not non-confrontational because I'm passive and I'm scared and I don't want to take leadership roles and deal with issues. I'm non-confrontational because if you're getting on my nerves and I have to come to you and address the issue in a situation, you start fussing and fighting and acting crazy, then you put me in a position to want to halfway cuss you out. And I don't want to do that. Then I have to go and repent and ask God to forgive me later on. That's why, okay? That's the issue. I'm more of an omega male. And I'm okay with that. That's how God designed me, but I'm still a leader, okay? But hey, to each his own. But if you're going to be a beta male, you're probably going to fall into the category of most liberal males. Because according to that study, most liberal males are beta males. They're non-confrontational, they're passive, they're subversive, and that's icky. That's not a good picture at all. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.